Hey there and welcome. This is Mikhail or Michael speaking. And as always, before this video starts, I want to use this opportunity to express my eternal gratitude towards those who decided to support me financially, be it through Patreon, PayPal, or Super Thanks. Your help is immense and cannot be underestimated, so thank you friends and have a blessed day. Now, today's video, as tradition implies, I will start with the city of Avdeevka and let's discuss situation in its northern part, as this is where it's been currently developing pretty rapidly. Here, Russian forces are continue to conduct storming operations within the city itself, along its many streets, and in attempt to capture every building and every quarter. It seems that generally Ukrainians have the situation under control when it comes to this particular sector, as their constant counterattacks are able to repel and stop Russians for the time being. However, in the most important sector of the front, situation is quite different. Despite all Ukrainian attempts to repel Russians and throw them back and regain control of the situation resulted in a failure. Here, Russian forces were not only able to successfully repel Ukrainian attacks, but also advance in the process. Those new advances happened here in this area, with about those territories falling into the Russian hands. As you can see, not only Russian forces were able to successfully capture this dacha area, but also enter the Avdeevka auto base, captured several buildings within it, and are currently fighting to clear it and take it under their full control. At the time of recording this video, the clearing operation is already underway, with virtually just one building remaining in Ukrainian control. With its full capture, Russian forces will be able to consolidate their territory along this street, and with it come extremely close to the so-called Road of Life, which is used to supply Ukrainian formations currently fighting in the southern part of Avdeevka, now being able to shoot directly on whatever is passing on this road even with small arms, but also attack in its direction across the open field, cutting it off physically. Problems for the Ukrainian defenders of course don't stop here, as now with the recent territorial gains within this dacha area, Russian forces have now gained ability to attack in the direction of Avdeevka coal plant directly, and as you can see, this portion of the facility is now within the gray zone, with Russians fighting in it to consolidate their gains. Generally speaking, the situation in the northern part of the city continues without a change for Ukraine. To this day, ever since Russians were able to make a significant breakthrough in this area, they were unable to stop them, with the front slowly collapsing. It seems that Russians are at about 400 to 500 meters away from cutting this road physically. With it, like I said, the entire Ukrainian grouping in this area will be cut off. Of course, there is still that road present, which can potentially support Ukrainian formations here. However, with it being extremely close to forward Russian positions, it will be under constant fire control and will not have any capabilities to support such a large force currently defending the southern parts of Avdeevka and its most fortified area, which is called 9th Quartal. So again, generally situation is quickly deteriorating, and it doesn't seem like the change of commander-in-chief will save Avdeevka at all. In fact, there are reports that Ukrainians are constructing significant fortifications behind Avdeevka, somewhere here in this area, seemingly preparing for the loss of Avdeevka and further Russian attacks right in the heart of the central and eastern Ukraine. Of course, Ukrainians will throw more troops into the grind, as it will buy them time to construct more and more fortifications. And it seems that the new commander-in-chief of Ukraine, Syrskyi, is more than ready to sacrifice his troops for valuable time. After all, it was him who was responsible for the meat grinder that was Bakhmut. Then from here, let's visit the settlement of Novomikhailivka. All throughout last week, I was reporting of constant Russian attacks, not only from the east, but also from the southeast, south, northeast, and north, with the settlement being constantly bombarded by Russian aviation and artillery, with the intensity of Russian attacks here increasing day by day. About 2 days ago, Russians reportedly were able to re-enter the town, but were immediately counterattacked, and the end result of Russian endeavors were unclear up to this day. Seemingly, Russian forces were not only able to repel all Ukrainian attacks here in this area, but significantly advance and entrench themselves within Novomikhailivka town. So they acquired the control over those territories, in addition to this foothold that they were able to acquire few days ago. Not only that, they were also able to advance along this road and capture it, advancing to these fortifications, which Ukrainians were using in attempt to repel Russian attacks, but it seems that they had already abandoned this stronghold, with this one being currently stormed by the Russians. Then from Novomikhailivka, let's move all the way to the city of Bakhmut and discuss the situation here as well. Despite the constant back and forth on the southern flank, there are no territorial changes, but the situation on the northern flank is slightly different. In the last 24 hours, Russian forces were able to significantly advance along the 005-06 road, and as a result of that, captured significant territories within this forest, as well as acquired control over the stronghold that was previously a cemetery. Those are the territories that Russian forces were able to acquire within the last 24 hours. As you can see here on the video, to acquire such territories, Russians used extreme amount of armor as they advanced along the highway with modern T-90M Prorыв tanks. This is the work of elite 98th Airborne Brigade, and this recent advance and a breakthrough is a sign of things to come. As you can see, with the control of this forest, Russian forces are now able to storm this tree line which holds Ukrainian trenches, as well as acquire more control around 005-06 road, and with those said territorial gains, reach the outskirts of Chasov Yar. This village served an important role in supplying Ukrainian formations fighting in Bakhmut. However, as soon as Bakhmut fell, it had its use. Now it's just the next fortified town located on the tactical heights, towards which Russians will be attacking to advance further on. Then there's another video of the same attack. However, this time it was done with the use of BMPs and infantry. Unfortunately, I cannot show you this video in its entirety, as on the video there are people present. For some reason, again, YouTube really hates when there are people present in a shot. It is totally fine for a tank or a plane or a ship to be exploded. However, as soon as the person ends up in the frame, the video is getting flagged by YouTube. So if you want to see my video uncensored, you can always do so on my Patreon, or of course you can find this particular video on my Telegram channel completely uncensored as well. Basically every clip that I use in this video is also present on my Telegram channel, so please do check it out. So both of those videos are showcasing the work of 98th Elite Airborne Brigade, and it seems that their goal is to reach Chasov Yar, perhaps even help other Russian formations advancing in Bogdanivka, as well as Kalinivka and Grigorivka. So again, this recent territorial change is a sign of more changes to come. Then from here, let's move all the way to the Belogorovka town and quickly discuss the territorial change within this industrial area. About a few days ago, Russians were able to advance and capture about 1/3 of it, and it seems that now they captured it in its full entirety. With this recent territorial gains, Russian forces can use this industrial complex as a staging point for further attacks in the direction of Belogorovka, as well as in attempt to gain full control over this waste heap, which resembles a hill of some sort and overlooks Belogorovka from the south. From here, let's move all the way to the Kupiansk front and discuss recent Russian territorial gains within Sinikivka village. Again, we see the change of Russian tactics, as usually they were attacking along these roads across the open field and were usually destroyed or forced to retreat before reaching the town itself. But recent territorial gains within this forest allow Russians to directly attack Sinikivka from it with mostly infantry formations, which allow Russians to advance within the village itself and capture about a 1/4 of it, with those territories coming in under Russian control. Of course, it should go without saying that village of Sinikivka is vital for the entire front, as it serves as a stronghold and stands in between advancing Russian formations and important city of Kupiansk. With this, I end today's video. Hopefully it was to your liking and was informative enough. If it was, please consider supporting this video by pressing that like button, commenting, and of course subscribing if you haven't done so. Also, please don't forget to ring notification bell, as it will immediately inform you when I post a new video. Thank you for your consideration and support. As always, humanity calls me to condemn all violence against human beings. Have a good day, and always remember, Russia will be free and great.